Alright, so we went back in time to look at the most embarrassing part of David Bowie's career until the 80s, which David Bowie in retrospect would call his Phil Collins years.
That's a good.
It's a good analogy, I think.
Yeah.
So David Bowie of the 80s has 4 albums.
Yep.
Of varying degrees of quality. These are Scary Monsters and Super Freaks.
A classic.
Which we've discussed before. There's the album of tonight's review, Let's Dance. And then the last 2 albums of the 80s before he goes into Tin Machine are Tonight and Never Let Me Down. Described as David Bowie's Nadia?
Nadia,
that's it, yeah, Nadia. Of his whole career. But where does this Nadia come from, and what led to it? Well, it's the album called Let's Dance.
Yes.
Which has been described, it's got a really weird critical history, I think, Let's Dance.
Yeah.
People can't quite decide whether it's a great album or like a horrible sellout album. Like most things, I think the answer falls in between.
Definitely, yeah.
It's Dave Grohl's favourite David Bowie album.
To think this is the best one is insane.
I agree, yeah.
It's not even the best sort of pop one, that's Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, but I agree, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so bit of history.
Yeah.
So 1980, big year for David Bowie. Scary Monsters has come out and has launched it back into near heights of commercial and artistic success. He managed to combine the artistic success of the Berlin trilogy with a more pop sensibility. I personally don't think the album's as great as people say it is.
Me neither. We both had a mixed opinion in the review.
Yeah. The following year he proceeded to record, in my opinion, the greatest pop single of all time, Under Pressure.
Under Pressure.
It's just one of the best pop songs ever.
Yeah.
I don't think if you want a perfect pop song, Under Pressure is just brilliant. It's multi-layered, it's got brilliant little sections, it's got the fun trade-off between Freddie Mercury's voice and David Bowie's voice, and the instrumentation's great, and the chorus is great, and the way it all builds up to that crescendo. It's brilliant.
Yep.
An easily career highlight for both Queen and David Bowie.
Yep.
He then goes into kind of disappearance for a bit. He's not really seen. He does a play as the Elephant Man, he does other strange things. But he pretty much disappears from sight until he re-emerges in 1983 wearing a suit and an orange tan and cut hair, and he's talking about how he's living a happy middle-aged life with his wife, and he just wants to have fun and have hits again. Much to the bemoaning of David Bowie fans, he signs a multi-record deal with EMI, which is apparently worth millions.
Yep.
He goes on a huge promotional tour for his new album, the Glass Spider tour, which makes millions, but is seen as being the ultimate example of his hubris and his commercial selling out. Okay. At the centre of this shitstorm of David Bowie's re-emergence as a commercial success and also the selling out of his artistic credibility,
yep,
is the album Let's Dance.
Let's Dance. Yep.
Which I can't decide on Let's Dance.
Okay.
I never can. I can't decide whether it is a really great album or not.
So, just for a bit of context where I'm coming from, I've heard the title track about a bazillion times.
It's a great song.
I've heard all the songs that sample it. I've heard Craig David doing a version where, have you not heard of this? No. It's he does a bit of rapping, and then it goes, Let's Dance, and it's like, yeah, and in the video it's like him with no shirt going, yeah, and it's like, it's basically a remix of, imagine taking Let's Dance and urinating on it and then shitting on it and then put it in a blender with the guy who wrote a song most famous for the fact that he made love on several days apart from Saturday and Sunday, and that's how you describe the terrible Craig David remix. So anyway, massive song, and I've heard Putting Out the Fire with Gasoline, Cat People, off the film Inglourious Bastards. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I'm coming in cold. I've heard it a few times over the last week, and yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
I've had an on and off relationship with the album since I first got into David Bowie back in uni, so for about 4 years ago. I was in a really intense period where I basically just listened to David Bowie's music. As you can gather from the reviews we've been doing the past few weeks over David Bowie's albums, are albums that I've listened to a hell of a lot of, and I know them quite intimately. They were kind of there for me during quite a difficult part in my life. So David Bowie's music was something that kind of helped me to get through it all. Let's Dance was a bit of a curb stop for me. It kind of like, you know, after I explored his amazing 70s career, you get to Let's Dance, it's a bit of like a, okay, that's it basically for David Bowie as the artist.
Yeah.
Alright, so Let's Dance emerges as what he describes as a one-off experiment. He wanted to combine popular dance music with a blues aesthetic, which was done to death with the rest of the 80s.
Yeah.
But when David Bowie first did it, it was like brand new.
Yeah.
It had never been done before.
Again, he's a trendsetter.
Yeah, but while on his previous albums he would create a trend and then almost leave it behind and move on. On this one he basically doesn't leave it behind, and that leads to his artistic hubris.
Yeah.
By combining dance music with blues music, he was able to create this fresh, cool, funky sound which attracted millions of new audiences who probably wouldn't have listened to David Bowie's music otherwise. Famously, David Bowie said in a retrospective interview that when he started touring Let's Dance on the Glass Spider tour, you know, he started to describe a real disconnect between his audience.
Yeah.
People who came in loving the music from Let's Dance but not really knowing his earlier career. And he said, you know, I'd look out every night and think, how many Velvet Underground albums do these people own?
That's a great quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a hugely controversial album, really.
Yeah.
It is seen as the point where David Bowie sells out.
Yeah.
And he was quite public about it as well.
Yeah.
So what's the album actually like?
Well, I first think we should talk about the cover. Because David Bowie, you know, he's a guy well known for his image almost as much as his music.
I agree.
Yeah. So the cover, you know, you've got him. Very iconic cover now. It's him, shirtless boxing, like that. You get to see, he's got a tan, he's got like, he's well built.
Like a blonde mullet thing.
Yeah, he's got a bit of an 80s mullet going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically...
He looks like Sting.
He looks like Sting. Yeah, he's tipping his hat to the new wavers that he ridiculed on Scary Monsters.
And now he's, yeah.
Now he's like, I'm one of you, a happy fun guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, during interviews he would talk about how happy he was just to be trying to make hits again and, you know, appealing to a mass audience, and it's like, oh no. But he said in a retrospective interview, I don't know how true this is, that after Let's Dance he wanted to go back and make more experimental music. This is a one-off thing.
Yeah.
But then money happened.
Yeah.
Let's Dance, the title track was David Bowie's biggest single.
Yeah.
I believe it was his biggest seller as an album. And that's when all the money-grubbing arseholes come along and we talk about, you know, a world tour and follow-up albums and money, and he kind of got a little bit corrupted by it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what his 90s career is about, kind of debunking it a little bit.
Yeah.
To mixed results, but to his credit, he tries to debunk his 80s image.
Yeah. Also a big thing before we get in, we'll go into each song, but first, the production is Niles
Rodger.
Niles Rodger from the band Chic.
Yes.
Chic even?
Chic.
Yes, a very well-known sort of soul, R&B, like really smooth band.
Well, to make it even more disconnect with his past, this was the first one in ages where David Bowie didn't work with Tony Visconti.
Yep.
And Carlos Alomar.
Yep.
David Bowie, from the stories I've read, was a little bit of an arsehole to them. He didn't talk to Tony Visconti about the fact he was making a new album. He gave him 2 weeks to come to the studio and start recording. He was like, sorry, I can't make it, mate. I'm fully booked, I'm busy, you should have told me sooner. And same for Carlos. Apparently David Bowie offered Carlos Alomar an embarrassing figure to record on the album and play. Benny, who's on the tour, so he must have, you know, got a bit of something. So Carlos is on the album after his amazing experimental guitar work throughout the late 70s. He's replaced by guitar virtuoso but mostly forgotten legend Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Probably most known now to children through a hilarious parody in South Park where it's
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yes, so yeah, it's an album of change, of new things.
Yes, no pun intended for the famous song.
Yes, but it's an album it's a different Bowie.
It's a different, completely different, yeah.
Yeah, so we begin the album with one of the singles, one of the 3 singles.
Yeah, three big singles. Yeah.
Yeah, Modern Love.
Oh man, I do love this song.
It's a great song.
It's I always think it's used a lot in Frances Ha.
Yeah.
Which is a great film, a Greta Gerwig film, and it's you like when you hear a song and it's so perfectly used in the film you can't separate it from the film of the song. It's a little bit like that. I love the driving momentum of the song. I think it's probably the best combination of a kind of a blues and a dance. Yep. You can imagine this being played like, you know, in a club kind of thing in the 80s. But at the same time it's got these kind of weird lyrics and the kind of the driving nature. What's most apparent is the immediacy of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that and I love David Bowie's opening lines where he speaks it. It's like, I don't want to go home and get things done. I catch the paper, boy.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a great pop song.
Great pop song.
And the use of a kind of a gospel choir, you know, Lord, I try, never gonna fall for my love. It's a far cry from the experimental vocal trade-off of Young Americans.
Yeah.
But like, you can clearly tell the influences of that album on this song. I love the driving nature of it. I love the riff. I love the drum sounds great. Drums suffered horribly in the 80s, like in terms of production.
Well, they made that cavernous drum sound, and it sounds awful.
Yeah, but I think on Modern Love, it really suits it. Like, I always think of it in the film in Frances Ha. You know, she's running through like New York, and when you hear the song, it almost sounds like someone running towards like a big event in their lives or something, or like a turning point, or whatever. It's a great propulsive song, and I never get bored of it. Yeah. It is really great. It's a super strong opening to the album. It's just a shame it doesn't, in my opinion, reach those heights again.
I think Let's Dance is as good.
Let's Dance gets a little bit repetitive for me.
Okay.
But we'll get to it.
Well, actually, my favourite song is probably the next song.
Oh, China Girl.
China Girl.
Which is a cover of an Iggy Pop song.
Which David Bowie wrote.
Yeah.
As well, co-wrote. Yeah.
This is another great song.
Yeah.
It's got the slightly dodgy, like, honky-tonk guitar riff. It's a little bit like, it's not terribly PC.
No.
Considering its subject matter.
Yeah.
But I think David Bowie's singing's excellent.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I can't get by without my China Girl.
Really controlled and it's...
Really controlled, yeah. I love the lines. There's some great like lines in this song. You know, I see visions of swastikas around, and it's like, well, okay, well, where did that come from? On this like happy-go-lucky 80s pop album. It's almost like a callback to like the Berlin trilogy.
Yeah.
You know, visions of swastikas around. I'm a huge fan of David Bowie's baritone voice.
Yeah.
When he goes super deep, and that's kind of mostly why I love Cat People.
Yeah.
He does that. It's just a cool voice.
Yeah.
And you know, I get that feeling with my China Girl. It's perfectly acceptable commercial pop song.
It's great.
It's a really great song.
There's no need to defend it just as a commercial pop song. It's great.
Yeah.
Subversive. It's kind of, I think this is more like 70s stuff. Not in the production, but in lyrically, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the production's still just as smooth as everything else on the album.
Yeah, it's a super smooth album.
Yeah. It also has a lot of stuff that's been reused. So not only do you have this song, which is a cover, even though one he's written, you also have Cat People was an actual, as the soundtrack to the film Cat People. Yeah. So that's reused again. So it's interesting that for his big album he's reusing a lot of elements.
Yeah, lots of old stuff, yeah.
Rather than the slash and burn sort of style of the 70s where it was like every new album was a new thing. Yeah. You know, there'd be covers but it'd be surrounded by wall-to-wall completely different sounds.
Yeah, the covers he did do would be like subversive and kind of rip apart the original
like
versions.
Wild is the Wind, or it's not like
yeah. Or Across the Universe Reimagined as a soul song. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, rather than this very faithful version that's like, yeah, just more smooth.
Yeah. So China Girl is a really great song. Yeah. I do have a real soft spot for it. Yeah. It's David Bowie singing. I love the smoothness of the production. And he still does a bit of experimental vocals as well. He swaps from his baritone to his screechy voice really well. I mean, yeah, there's some great imagery in here. I love the instrumental part where it's do 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 do, and he's going like shh, just shh. You wouldn't have that in like a modern pop song, would you?
No.
Like a 1 minute instrumental section where the lead singer is just telling the listening to shush.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really great.
Yeah.